You got the show notes, right?
No, you sent me no show notes.
No. Woody, did you get the show notes, Woody?
Sure.
All right, man. Cool.
Did you email them or what?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I don't check my email, so.
Nah, we're just bullshitting you.
Oh,
We free ball it here. We raw dog it here, man.
I'd rather you girls
Raw dogging. Yep. What's up, everybody? My name is Mike Toledo, along with John Hiley, Daniel from Stella Sandro. Today we have a special newcomer guest. Well, he's not really a newcomer, but he's a new guest on PDR Tool Time. Let's everybody welcome Woody Koss. What up, Woody? What up?
Hey, guys. How are you, man? How's everybody doing? How was your week?
Fantastic.
Good.
Chilling like a villain.
Yeah. Nice.
You know it. How was y'all's day today?
I had a good day, man.
I had a good day, too. I had another G-Wagon. That's 2 within a week. I haven't worked on a G-Wagon in like 3 years. And next thing you know, boom, boom, boom.
What's a G-Wagon?
The Mercedes G-Wagon.
Oh, those,
Like
yeah.
you go on a safari with one, but no one will go on a safari with one of those because they're way too expensive.
And they're ugly. I don't like them.
Yeah.
They got some legit makes and models on that G-Wagon. I think they got like a turbo version, got like 550 horsepower. But because it's a giant square, it's like my Jeep. I mean, the wind resistance is like, so I mean, you just don't get the acceleration like you would,
The issue that I have is the guys that are driving them. I think the oldest one was maybe 27 years old. How are these guys affording G-Wagons? And one of them was the AMG model, 2016, $170,000 G-Wagon.
That's hustling, baby. That's hustling, man.
Yeah. Well,
that dude's out doing his thing.
He has an Aventador, and I worked on his Ghost as well. 27 years old. I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably get a little trust fund going. Possibly.
Did they speak English?
No. Chinese
billionaire, dude.
Yeah.
Guy's a Chinese billionaire, man.
Oh, dude, we got some Chinese dudes over here that are like that, man. Dude's rolling up in a brand new McLaren, and I think his parents own a factory here, something like that. But there's like a group of them, man.
And they probably own
my shop up here.
They probably own them back in China too, I'm thinking.
Yeah. Going back to today, man, I actually got bit by a gay guy's dog today.
Uh-oh. Did you go to the hospital and get that checked out?
Nah, man, it didn't bite me. It bit me hard enough where I was looking to see if skin was broken, but it actually didn't bite my skin. So
was it an ankle biter, Doug?
No. I'm at this customer's house, and great customers. I want to tell you, man, if like all gay guys are as good as these two guys, like customer-wise, like being cool, paying, just about anything I ask for, money-wise, nice fellas, man. I'm telling you, nice fellas, and I see Woody smiling. I'll wait for the cracks. It's okay, but, he told me, he's like, they got 3 dogs there, and the dogs are barking at the fence. He's like, oh, they won't bite. He's like, just stick your hand in there and, pet them, and they'll get to know you. So I stick my hand through his fence, and I start petting the Dalmatian under its chin. The little sucker leached out and snagged me, got me right in my hand. So,
I'll tell you what, man. You never know.
Yeah.
So John, did you buy a new car this weekend?
I did, man. Yeah, I leveled up.
Yeah. You traded in the old stinking model?
Yeah. The 2016 was getting a little too old for me. So, yeah. No, you guys want to hear real quick how that happened? Okay. So everybody, I was rolling a 2016 Corvette Stingray. And they scheduled me to do an oil change over the weekend. And I got there, and they said the Corvette team wasn't even in on Saturdays. So they screwed up and scheduled me on the wrong day. So I'd ride out the dealership, and I drive around to the front and go talk to my boy AJ. And I'm looking over here, and I'm like, I'm thinking about leveling up to a Z06, man. Why don't you run the numbers for me? And he's like, well, we got this yellow one here and this black one. And the black one was a stick and a convertible. I didn't like it. I looked over and seen the brand new 2017 Grand Sport sitting there and was like, man, let's run some numbers on that. And it was sold within 2 or 3 hours. I was driving home the new Grand Sport.
And what's on the Grand Sport? What's that about?
Well, the Grand Sport's interesting, man. It's like a Z06. It's got the wider body. It's got the wider front tires. I mean, it's got the rear quarters that stick out 3 inches. It's got the 20s on the back, the 19s on the front. It's got the bigger rims. It's got everything a Z06 has, and it has a Stingray motor in it, which they are, if anybody's ever drove one of them, they're stupid fast. But it gives me the opportunity to take this custom laid out, custom Corvette and have my guys put a supercharger in it, which essentially I can take this thing for about $10,000 and make it badder than any Z06 on the road for about 10 grand.
Cool.
Cool. Right on.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's cool.
Honestly, John, I was like, did he buy another one? I was like, man, maybe he did it. Maybe it's just because you told me the first one and you didn't really, and then this one, I was like, okay, he's letting it out of the bag. I thought you bought another one.
Well, you guys all know the wife kicked me out the first one that I bought, right? So technically she kicked me out and told me not to come home. And then she let me back in within about 2 hours. So she called me up. She's like, nah, well, you know how it is, man. You know how us dudes do it, okay? Your old lady kicks you out from one night. I mean, that's like a free pass to go out and do whatever you want. I mean, that's a free pass to get out and get rowdy. You know what I mean? I'll go snatch up some of my buddies and roll in a Corvette, man. We're rolling. So I'm imagining all this great stuff I'm going to do. And then she calls me up and says, I got to come home.
She thought twice about that.
Come home and give me a ride, right?
She did tell me I had to tell Woody hi. That's her girlfriend right there.
Oh, Woody. Oh, sorry, Woody. Hey, dude. Hey, that's right. He's our special guest. There we go.
So we wanted to bring you on, Woody, because we saw your posts on Facebook. You got a couple products. If people don't know you out there, why don't you give us a little brief history first of how long you've been pushing dents and whatnot. Introduce yourself to everybody if they don't know you.
I've been pushing dents for probably close to 5 years now. So, yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. So, pretty much known for showing my ass.
So if you guys don't know, if you haven't been to MTE, that's the reason you don't know who Woody is. If you're going to MTE, you're going to know who Woody is. He's kind of the him and a couple other guys. What's that? Wade. Him and Wade are like the class clowns of MTE. You're going to have a good time around them, especially Woody. Last year you were rocking some rummy bears.
2 years in a row.
2 years in a row.
Well, we were talking about him last podcast, guys. I brought up how I like Josh Dent Jones' networking style. And then we said that, remember we talked about Woody's being similar and Wade's being similar?
Yeah.
So we actually talked about that. And if you guys ever get a chance, all you listeners out there, just Google Drew's Tools. Mike, what would that be under? Like Drew's Tools prank. Yeah, Google Drew's Tools prank. And
that's hilarious.
You will see Mr. Mike Toledo filmed a pretty funny video, and Woody is actually in that video doing his thing.
And that's how he is naturally.
Mr. Vince D'Alessandro did the videoing.
Yes.
Mr. Mike Toledo did the
editing.
Directing.
Sorry, man.
I'm producer,
directing and
post-production.
I hate to remind you, but the camera bitch doesn't get any credit, bro.
I know. That's why I just had to throw it out there. Always behind the scenes.
So, Woody, are you a hail guy or door dinger? Tell the listeners out there.
No, I mostly do route work, just retail body shops type stuff. I have been doing a little bit more hail this year. So normally I would just go out for a couple weeks at a time. This year I've been doing a little bit more.
Where are you from, Woody? Where do you work out of? Let everyone know here.
Fort Myers, Florida.
So you're near gosh dang it, what's his name? You met him before, I think. Yeah.
The guy you trained.
Yeah.
Who's the guy
Was it Brad?
Yeah, Brad Fritz.
Brad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same
You ever,
here.
you ever do networking with him?
No, honestly,
I think he's out
haven't.
doing hail most of the time too. So.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
pretty much stay pretty busy. So don't have a ton of time.
So you just spent a lot of time out there, and you do a lot of work with Hampton, and
Yeah.
everybody knows Ryan Hampton here. He was on for our special hail report episode. Can't remember which episode that is. Scroll back a little bit, check it out, and you can get introduced to Ryan Hampton if you have not listened to it already. But you guys were recently working in Mr. Ryan Hampton's new shop in St. Louis, right?
Yep.
So how was that? I mean, how was the whole deal out there?
Well, it was pretty good. I mean, he's got AC set up in his shop and everything, so pretty much can't beat that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So, so the reason we contacted you is you came out with a couple products. One of them being a collar for your light stand, and why don't you tell people a little bit about that collar? Why did you come up with it? And if you haven't seen it out there, we'll show it on the website. This thing looks beautiful.
John's going to go grab it right now.
Yeah, it's legit. So would you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, pretty much everybody I know has a problem with the collars just always breaking. Once that little pin falls out on the Pro PDR, you're constantly fighting, trying to shove something back in there, or it's going to end up spinning loose. The threads on the plastic part will just strip out, and then you're just it's a constant battle to get that thing to work. So I figured coming up with one just out of aluminum, it'd just be a lot more durable. So
it's funny that they didn't think about that sooner. I mean, I think everybody's light, unfortunately. I mean, Pro PDR Solutions comes out with some good products, but collar is probably the weakest point of their whole light. I mean, the most important too. So
I know Jeremy Langton came up with one a while back, but I don't know if he's actually selling it. I checked his website and everything. He says he still is, but
there you go.
I don't know. I haven't seen it on his site or anything.
So how long did it take you to come up with something like this, Woody?
I mean, we were throwing ideas back and forth for probably a couple weeks, maybe. So
that's pretty good. I mean, that's really good. It looks like as I always compare things like that, like Terminator, built. It does look like a piece of, maybe its shoulder of the Terminator.
Now, what is it constructed of, Woody? Is it steel, aluminum?
It's all aluminum. I mean, there is some brass fittings on the inside. I mean, I wouldn't recommend unscrewing that knob on there, because then you're going to have to try to piece it back together. If you don't really know how to get it back together, it's not real hard, but definitely for the first time, you'll probably make your butt pucker trying to get it back together.
Now, how's it been? How long have you been using it? How's the reliability on it? Is it like any parts that are getting weak or spreading apart?
No, I mean, I've been using it probably for over a month. It's been staying pretty strong. I haven't had any issues with it. So,
but this is what I like is here's a dent tech out there. The big dogs aren't putting something out that's really lasting the way it should, and here comes a tech and actually fixes the problem, puts out a product, and now he's in the tool business. And I want to commend you for that. And you're going to have a booth at MTE, right? You told me earlier.
Yes. Yep.
Cool.
We have a booth too, so that should be interesting.
Yeah.
This thing I'm holding in my hands here, I mean, it literally feels bulletproof. It's a very nice construction here. You can tell that they did a good job on the finishing work with it. And like Daniel said, the cool thing about this is, and like I said, the most important thing you can do when you build a tool is find something that makes the quality of your life better. Because if you're sitting here thinking like, gosh darn, man, I wish I had this, or I wish this had that, or, anything that could make the quality of your life better is almost guaranteed to, work in the marketplace.
Now, that looks like, you said that's Pro PDR. Is that a Pro PDR Solutions or a Ultra one? Collar.
This one right here is Pro PDR Solutions. Woody, although I told him Ultra was my light, that's going to be coming out within a few weeks, and he's going to send me the insert right here, the ball that's the size for the Ultra. Woody, is the Ultra ball smaller or bigger than this?
No, actually, what's going to happen is it's going to have a piece.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to look like the Pro PDR, how it's got that little fork on the back of their light.
Yeah.
That's all it's going to be. So basically, it's just going to screw in here.
Okay.
And it's just going to be reverse engineering. So you're just going to have that piece on the collar instead of on the back of your light. So it's going to mount right to the ball.
Nice.
On your light.
Now, what are you retailing those for? How much are they?
They're going for $150.
$150. Okay. And they can find those where?
You can message me on Facebook, or go to dentools.com. They can get it there. And then I know in the future, probably James Lee from Eliminate and Shane Jacks will be carrying it as well.
Okay.
Now, what is the opinions of other companies that actually make those type of things, but you're something they're making one better? Have you gotten any opinions from anybody or feedback?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they're real happy. I know Bill Hewlett from ProBDR, he's coming up with something else. Because I contacted him and possibly see if he was wanting to carry it, but he said he's working on something else at the moment. So he wasn't interested at the moment. So.
Well, you know what? That's what keeps these guys on their toes. If they're not putting out a good product. I mean, you look at James Lee's light. He came out. I mean, you had all the big dogs making lights, and James Lee came out of nowhere, it seemed like, and puts out this little mini light that just blew everybody away. I mean, the quality was through the roof, and all of a sudden he's in business and lighting things on fire. And, that's why I think the big companies need to stay in touch a little bit more.
Yeah. I have a little bit of an opinion on that too, because, and I'm one to start fires and like to call the kettle black and whatnot.
Then start it, man. Start it.
Well,
so Vince is one of the guys that says he likes to start fires, and then he fizzles out before he starts the fire.
Well, I start it, and then I let everyone else finish it. That's the thing. This has obviously been an issue for many years. And why is it that us as technicians kind of like, oh, okay, we just kind of accepted it the way it is? It took Woody to come up with it. It's not like this light just came out a month ago, 2 months ago. These lights and these problems have been around for pretty much inception since they came out. I've had problems with Ultra redesigned theirs, but still there's issues with it. And I know there's money involved in doing R&D and figuring out. And obviously, a tool like this costing $150 from Woody, maybe it's going to increase their cost on the light, and they don't want to do that specifically. But it's interesting how we all kind of accepted the light for what it was for so long, and kind of hemmed and hawed about it behind the scenes until Woody stepped up here and actually did something to make a difference on it. So congratulations, Woody, and shame on those guys for waiting.
Thanks, man.
Well, I think it's good for the industry. I think that's, we need more small guys getting into the business. I think that's why we have this show. We want to promote people like Woody, and bring in more tools so we get a better product. I think this industry has a lot of growth ahead of it. And if we sit back and be stagnant, we're going to suffer for it.
Well, see, and here's the thing, man. You know, for the bigger companies actually need to listen to the technicians because we're out on the field. A lot of these companies probably, I doubt that Bill is pushing Dents. And no disrespect to Bill. I hope anybody out there does not think we're disrespecting Bill at all.
No.
But this is a true learning lesson here because no matter how big you get, if you don't listen to the technicians, number one, there shouldn't even have been something to build here. You know what I mean? Over the years, it should have evolved so well by listening to the feedback of the technicians on the ground that there shouldn't have been an opportunity. The problem is if you don't fill that gap, then you're leaving an opportunity out there for somebody to build something better just because they want to increase the quality of their life. And they want to say, hey, you know what? I want to increase the quality of other tech's life as well.
Well,
So,
you can get an example though. Okay, you like say Woody built something that obviously is probably precision. I got to try one of those, Woody. You put me down for one of those.
All right.
When you're turning it, specifically when I'm using a Bill's light, if I'm turning it to the left and I'm tapping, all of a sudden it just kind of helicopters on me. It kind of just starts tilting to the left. Or I need that precision movement. You know, if I want it to move a 1/16 of an inch, that's what I want. And I want it to stay there. If I want it to move a 1/2 inch, that's what I want. But it's very important that the tools work exactly, if not better than what they're built for. And some of these little details make a big difference. That's how it is in our game. So I see why the collar was made, Woody. So congrats.
Well, I know there's the other issue. I haven't had it on my light, but that the piece on the back, people are having the issue where that's coming loose in the
Well, that's what I'm saying, a helicopter.
Yeah, I haven't had that issue on mine yet. Hopefully I don't.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's everybody's thing, but the collar is probably the most important. You know, that's where
with mine, it's pretty much you got the double pivot point because you got this point here, which I mean you can pretty much go anywhere, and then it's in the existing pivot point from what Bill has on his. And then you just got to get that tension right. And basically, once you get that tension right, I mean, you have to crank it down a little bit. But once it's good, I mean, you pretty much – I'm not fooling with this all the time. I mean, I'm pretty much setting it and, you know, it's –
forgetting it.
Good.
Yeah.
So it's not something that you're constantly, you know, moving, you know, every 2 seconds. So.
And I encourage you to keep in mind, Woody, as well, that when you get these out into the marketplace, if you listen to our last episode, Keith Cosentino had a really good little rant that he went on about, you know, other guys are going to use your tool in ways that you would never use them because you know the weak points. When you put it in another person's hand, they don't know the weak points of that tool. So they're going to use it and abuse it in different ways. We tend to tippy-toe around the weak points of our tools. So you use that market feedback to keep building and progressing and making your tool better. So
that's I'm constantly racking my brain with coming up with every single angle that somebody can find a complaint and
they'll figure it out. The market.
Believe me, if there's any kind of issue, it's getting solved.
Now, for you listeners, if you guys are going, what the heck is they talking about? Please go to pdrtooltime.com. Check out this episode. What is this, episode 32, John?
It is episode 32, and we will have full video on pdrtooltime.com. That's how we roll now. You don't got to read the notes. You don't got to look at photos. We got full video, okay? And while you're at it, swing on over to our iTunes store and write us a review. So I need to check that out, huh? Vinny, you on top of these things?
No, I'm not.
He's on top of some T-shirt sales, though.
Yes. They're actually flying off the shelves this week.
That is awesome. So when you guys hear that now, I don't know, we probably only got, 30 left or something to that nature?
Yeah, about that. And also keep in mind that due to a clerical error, shipping is really cheap right now. Ain't that right, Mike?
Fix it before you guys better jump on it before I fix it. Within the next, well, maybe if you heard this in a week, I probably have fixed it. But if I haven't, you better jump on it.
Right.
A little bit.
So now, Woody, you also have a second product. Why don't you guys Why don't you tell us about that?
I have a tool cart. It's basically like a roadie case. I mean, if y'all seen Drew's tools cart, I mean, everybody's constantly comparing, saying it's just the complete copy of his, which, I mean, yes, I got the idea from Drew's, but I definitely made some changes that I thought were needed. One being it's made out of a real high impact plastic. So that way you don't have to worry about any kind of moisture or anything affecting the wood that his is made out of. And on mine, you can actually use the lid for just like a glue pulling tray or any kind of whatever you want to sit in the tray, because it actually will attach to the side of the cart. So that way you get a little bit extra workspace. So,
Cool. I think I saw that. I didn't even know it was yours. I think Shane Jacks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shane
Talking about
Jackson
it
does
and
a
beating
good
it
video
down.
on that.
Yeah, beating it down and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it glides really super nice and clean and yada yada. And I didn't even know Drew's had one like that until you just brought it up right now. So I have no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Shane loves hitting everything with a hammer, doesn't he?
It did. Yeah, that's right.
But
So,
with that cart, you're basically going after the hail techs. They're the guys.
Not really.
No? Okay.
Honestly, it's more geared towards the route tech.
Okay.
Just because when I'm doing route, I've been through pretty much every single setup you can think of.
I think we all have.
Yeah, and I mean, granted, when I'm doing route, there's a select few tools that I use 90% of the time. I mean, I don't need everything in my tool cart. So basically this, I mean, you can, throw, your pretty much your go-to tools on it.
Right.
It's just real quick loading, unloading. Because during route, I mean, half the time I'm in such a rush trying to get to the next stop. It allows me to just unload and load up quick. And that's
now, does that cart break down?
you need. What's that?
Does that cart break down, Woody?
No,
No,
it's like a big box.
Yeah, it's tall, right?
It's just a big roadie case, basically. And you can just slide it right back up into the back of the pickup. I mean, you throw the lid on it and you just angle it up and just slide it right into the back of your truck. So,
Do we have pictures, or is it on your website, Woody? What?
yeah, it should be. It's on the website, but there's only one picture. It doesn't really show, how the lid kind of attaches to the side. We're still in the process of building the site, but we just wanted to get something up quick. So,
And how much is that?
When you're ready to sell a whole bunch of them and you want to showcase it, send one to Mike and he'll make you a bitchin' video.
So what's that one sell for?
those are going for $950.
Nice.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, and if you see it, I mean, that thing looks indestructible.
yeah, I mean it's pretty solid. I went through multiple materials trying to figure out what really would work best. Trying to find something really light. It's around 54 pounds total, but I had it down. I was around 38 pounds at one point on one of the prototypes, and it felt really cheap. And I mean, I didn't want that real cheap feeling, so I ended up adding the diamond plate. I put diamond plate on the hold on here
On the bottom.
on the top and bottom. I lose you?
No,
We're good.
Oh, okay. Something popped up. But yeah, I put diamond plate on the top and bottom, and it made it feel real solid.
Gotcha.
So, and plus with the diamond plate, it's strong. You're not going to have to worry about the casters ripping out or anything like that. So.
And what size casters do you have on there? Does it roll like on
casters on it.
Does it roll good on asphalt and all that?
Yeah, I take it everywhere. It rolls pretty nice.
Cool. That's good. And
Yeah.
so it's vertical. It's how big is it? Like around?
Um, it's 20 by 20 square. With the lid on it, you're looking around 50 inches tall.
Okay.
With the lid off, it's around 42.
And how many tools do you usually carry in it when you're?
Um, I pretty much I carry quite a bit. I mean, I have 2 sets of hand tools I carry on there. Um, I mean, I got door hooks, all kinds of things, but it's really, yeah. See, there it is, right there.
Why don't you go ahead and explain as Shane's doing it, so you can go ahead and explain it.
Yeah. Well, basically, it's just got the latches on the side. It's just little butterfly latches. It actually does have a little spot where you can throw a little lock on there. I know I had a guy today message me that he's having people walk off with his tools because he's an in-house guy. So that was one of his main concerns, was being able to lock it.
And right here's Shane getting ready to hit it with the hammer, guys.
Yeah.
So that's him smacking the side of Woody's tool with a pretty decent size.
Ball peen hammer.
Yeah, with Woody's cart. You know, and here's the thing, to all you listeners out there, get on PDRToolTime.com and watch this, because what we're explaining here is exactly what we're seeing on the video over there. So go ahead, Woody, and tell us what Shane's doing here with that latch.
Yeah, well, he's just taking the lid off now. But there is.
Now, notice them hooks back there in the back, Woody. Like, there's little hooks that he's showing right there in the back.
Yeah, it's the mounts that actually attach the lid to the side of the cart.
Okay. Now, is that a pretty solid attachment point there?
Yes. Yeah. I haven't
nice.
had any issues with it, wanting to fall off or anything like that.
So I see in general that this is obviously this is the shape of the one that Drew's came out with.
Yeah, basically, my lid is it is shorter because on his lid, he can fit some bigger rods in the cart. But I mean, honestly, when I'm doing route, I'm not really carrying a bunch of long rods in my cart because I'm really not using them all the time.
Right.
Even like what Shane has there, pretty much that's kind of what my cart looks like for door dinging.
You know, I really like what you came up with the whale tail slots there, one steady line. I'm almost amazed that nobody else has came up with that design for whale tail slots.
Because, yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. And pretty much I did have that lid, that tray is all water jetted. So, I mean, I wanted everything to have nice, clean cuts on it and everything. And it's just a simple design because I pretty much use it. I got a set of Dentcraft flat shaft hand tool set, and then I have the brace tool set that I use from Dentcraft, and then I have all my whale tails. So that's why I put 3 separate slots on there.
Right. So I noticed in this video, Woody, that Shane is closing this little door you have here. It looks pretty cool. And he pulled out some cables there. And he also showed a little
Power inverter?
Yeah, like a power inverter or something up top.
Yeah, well, it's got the battery cables underneath, so you can hook up a battery. I do keep my battery in a little Playmate cooler, so I'm not worrying about any, because I know that was one of the questions about the rods hitting the battery, and shorting the battery out. With mine, I keep a battery bag in the back of my truck because that's one thing that I was always worried about anyways, is I don't want to be that guy that you see online that the whole back of his truck started on fire because he's got something touched his battery. So I just transport my batteries in a battery bag.
Mm-hmm.
But,
and you got to watch too that if you have a tool that lays across the batteries, it will turn
welded.
It will glow freaking red.
Yeah.
I had some buddies that were working for me at a hail gig, and they actually had their tool hanging through an S-hook, laying on a battery, arcing it, And when they came back, they're like, what is that smell? And they went over to the hood. The S-hook was glowing red and about ready to drip the tool out. So it was so red that it was melting the metal. So they had to like pull the tool out and take another tool and knock it off. And no kidding, it slid over to the other side of the building, went underneath a plastic bottom deck lid and caught it on fire.
Wow.
Nice.
So, yeah, they had to pay. They had to get the deck lid, the bottom of the deck lid painted.
You know what? I've got another idea for you. A friend of mine actually made he took a cooler and he did the same thing. He put batteries in it, and it's his charging station when he goes camping. And when he flips up the lid, it has a solar panel in it, and that charges the battery. So put a solar panel on it, and then he put speakers, and he plugs his phone in, and he's got speakers. You can have a little mini concert there and get going.
Yeah, man. What's up? Where's the LCD screen? Where's the speakers?
That's funny because that is one of my next thing is coming out with a portable charging station.
Yeah.
So that is one of my things that I'm working on next year. So hopefully.
And then put speakers.
Well, I want to know, the insiders want to know, everybody wants to know, dude. So has Drew expressed any feelings towards this?
No, I have not talked to Drew. Me and Drew, I love Drew. I mean, we're good buddies, but I know he's probably not happy with me.
Hey, you changed it 30%. That's all you have to do in a design.
I use the shape.
30%.
I use the shape. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those roadie boxes have been used for years.
Yeah, they've been around, so
Yeah.
basically I use the shape and I use different materials. So,
You're good.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I think we're looking for really, when we're talking about knockoffs, we're talking identical type knockoffs. Like if you're knocking off some signature thing and doing it identical, you know what I mean? Or even worse than that, if you're trying to knock off a product like they were doing to the Black Plague tabs, all the Chinese guys were like exactly knocking off their logos and everything and selling them on eBay. I mean, you guys remember that when Atlas was getting his tabs knocked off left and right?
No.
He was causing a whole stampede about it, man. I'm surprised you guys didn't hear about that. Sending out emails, all that kind of stuff.
I know there's a company on eBay that copies Ultra's exact look of their tools.
Oh, dude, and I told you about that story, Mike. Nico, my student from about a month ago, bought them, and this kid is like, I told him, I'm like, don't buy it. No, they look exactly like it. You don't know, I'm like, dude, don't buy it. He's 17 years old. Trying to talk sense into a 17-year-old about not buying something that's cheap is like spinning your wheels with this kid, right? So they get shipped to my shop when he comes out for some training a couple months ago, and I grabbed the first one that was 1/2-inch diameter. I think it was called Dent Tricks. If I want to, I'm trying to recall. Excuse me if that's wrong, but I grabbed it out of his box, the 1/2-inch rod, stepped on it, and bent it in front of him. And then he looked at me like, "Can we?" He said it all like, "Can you think you can bend it back?" They did refund his money though. He shipped them back, and he got a refund on them.
That's good.
But here's what all you guys need to understand out there. The expense is in tempering the tools. That's the scientific stuff that makes making tools expensive. If you're buying a cheap eBay set, that means you're buying a bunch of crap that hasn't been tempered.
Yeah, and you're not committed to the craft.
Or tested,
stuff.
Not tested at all. Because it takes a lot of money to do that. Now, Woody, on that tool cart, how much R&D you put into that?
I mean, I've put quite a bit, honestly. I've had multiple prototypes that I've come out with. As far as I started with one that was made out of aluminum and just kind of worked my way. I've tried few different types of plastic, and the one that I settled on has been the best. I mean, it's lightweight. It's strong. It's real scratch resistant. The chemicals, real chemical resistant too. So it's good stuff. I mean, it's not cheap stuff. I'll tell you that. It's definitely, I got a lot of that money is going towards materials. So that's, that's a lot of people don't understand when, you say 950, it's, that's one thing. I mean, you can try to build a cheaper version, it'll work, whatever. But I mean, if it's the amount of time and, money that's invested into that to get it the way that it looks and operates,
don't apologize about the price. I think you get price on that. And these, if you guys want guys like this coming out inventing tools, you got to pay for it. We got to support new tool makers come along. So go out and buy Woody's tools.
Well, you got to understand too, Woody. Welcome to selling tools in the PDR market. These guys, they almost have to first see it in their hands first, or see it in person. So that's why I think Mobile Tech Expo is an excellent place to really kick it off. And they got to appreciate the material. I mean, I look at it; it looks solid. I mean, after seeing Shane's video, it looks solid, and it looked like you didn't spare any cheap price on cheap material on that.
Oh no, there's definitely not.
Well, the other thing, it's a good signboard too. You can put lettering all over that thing.
I mean, that's what, even on mine, like I got my logo on the side of it. That's what I put, I put Shane's logo on the side of his. I mean, there's a ton of different things you could do to try to customize that. I mean, even if you wanted to put, vinyl lines on the side of it and use it as a line board. I mean, you could do that too.
Oh snap! You just got Mike's attention.
Yeah.
Well, have you ever think about, because I wouldn't mind taking that with me on the road. I'm always worried about people jacking my tools when I leave. You know what I mean? So, just an idea, but you can put like a little hook that people can put a padlock on it or something.
No, it's on the top on the lid. It does have an area where you can put a little padlock.
Well, I meant not rolling off with the cart entirely. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Actually, you put one of those trackers in the bottom of it, man. Hide it in the bottom.
Oh yeah, there's GPS on it too.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? You know what? Now I think about it, why couldn't you take one of those panels and make that the light? Take the black panel out and make a white one and put a light behind it.
That'd be a cool estimating cart, dude.
Well, not only that, it would be a cool thing to just throw onto the side of the shop and have your deep, far away reflection while you're up close. I mean, you can always look if you're doing hail, especially if you're doing hail or a big dent. You can always use another light at a distance away.
Yeah. But
that's how
a lot of guys, what they'll do is they bring out a little sandwich board and says paintless dent removal in progress, and then they have a little card holder on it, and they get a lot of business when they're at a public area like that. And you could litter that up on the side, put a little card holder on the top, and you're good to go. You got your marketing.
See, I always mean mug people when they come up to me, public areas. Watching me? You watching me?
Oh yeah.
Do I come to your work? Do I come to your work and watch you? Huh?
I get a lot of people just come up to me and ask me about the cart. Not even what I'm doing, just like
right.
I like these carts.
Hey, I told a group of guys one time. I roll with a golf bag on my route. Love it. I got an expensive, like a $300 golf bag. Stands up on its own. But I had some guys come out of a BW3s one time, and they're like, what are these, and they're looking at my tools, and I was like, they're European golf clubs. They all just stood there and kind of scratched their head and walked off. I was like, man, I'm not even, these guys aren't even, like, they were practically stumbling when they came up.
I always wear headphones when I'm working. I used to get guys come up, so are you listening to the dent? And I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm listening to the metal.
Some guy asked me today if I had insurance while I was working, like while I was halfway through his dent on his original Mustang SVT or whatever from like the early 90s. I think only had like 10,000 miles on it. And you know what I said to him? I said, what's that? He was like, that's the wrong answer. So
Well, okay. So are we going into our quick tips or what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you got? Any
That's
quick
about
tips?
time.
Honestly, I think the best tip would be if you're trying to sell anything as far as hail or retail, best thing you need is confidence. Trying to sell any kind of job, if you sound confident and know what you're talking about when you're doing it, you're definitely you're way ahead of the game. You know, you're more than likely you're going to end up landing the job. So
That's true. Very true. Good.
Now, when you give an estimate, are you one of those people when you're giving an estimate, do you explain? Do you do a lot of explaining, or do you just say, "Yeah, I can do it"?
No, honestly, when I'm talking to a customer, it's pretty much I'll talk about anything besides the dent. You know, I mean, I'll just shoot the shit with them because, I mean, they realize that you're actually human and have a personality, and they just build trust with you that way. And that seems to work really good for me. And half the time, they're not even concerned with the dent. You tell them a price, and they're just like, yeah, go ahead and do it. So,
yeah. That's it's one of the most underestimated things you've got to actually touch base with the customers, getting them to be comfortable with you. And
yeah, I mean, pretty much I know if I can get in front of the customer, I pretty much know I'm going to land the job. I'm not concerned with that unless they're really concerned about price. Then it's, you know, not every customer is your customer. That's one thing you got to know is not all business is good business. You know, if you're bogged down with just the customer nobody wants to do, then, you know, you're not really ahead of the game. So I just pick the customers that I want to do, and that way I work less and make more money. It's kind of what I like to do.
Good point.
Yep.
Yeah, good.
All right. Who's next?
I'll go ahead and do something. I want to clarify a quick tip that I gave last week. And one of the things that I said last week is that I am never emotionally attached to the closing. So when people come into my shop, they get an estimate, you know, I'm really not emotionally attached to selling them at that moment. And one of the things that Woody says is actually pretty interesting, you know, that he was talking about dealing with the customers and when he gets in front of them and getting to know your personality and things of that nature. Well, what I do and what I encourage a lot of other dent techs, because you guys can't just jump in and do what I was doing, okay, unless you've laid the groundwork, okay? So you have to lay a ton of groundwork and promotions and get your face out there. And, you know, I've got over 100+ videos on YouTube. My emails are linked to these videos where the customers can sit down and watch them. So what I like to do is let my marketing sell for me, okay? So at one point, you get tired of begging and pleading for customers for your business, you know, and you're trying to prove to them, you know, that you're better. I'm better than this guy. I'm better than this guy. You know what? No way. No. You know what? If you're serious about marketing yourself and your company, you need to continuously do things out there that separate yourself from the competition to where you rise above to the point to where when they do walk in your door, you're not emotionally attached to the close, because you know that 90% of the people that walk into your door walked in there because you brought them in with your solid marketing that did the closing for you before they even stepped foot in your door, okay? So that's some time-saving techniques right there. And to do that, you got to hustle. Do you got to work late? Do you got to get into the shop early? Do you got to put down, you got to hit the grind? Yeah, you do. But you know what? If you're not willing to do that, then you're going to be begging and pleading for the close. You know, so that's my quick tip for you, because I feel like I didn't clarify that 100% last week. I'm not telling people just to be like a dick to your customers or not try to close them. What I'm trying to say is get your marketing on so good that it closes the deal before they even walk in the door.
Good job.
All right.
Okay, Mike, you got one?
Yeah, I got one, actually.
I got one too this week.
No, Vince, you got
I'm going to give you two to make up for it, but go ahead, Mike.
Well, so anyways, I've a guy from Argentina contacted me. He's actually been working for actually one of my good friends up in LA, David. Vince, you know David. Anyhow, he said, Mike, there's this guy from Argentina. He's really good at glue pulling. And I'm thinking, then this guy's probably all glue puller, Anyways, which he mainly is, though. Trust me. So I bring him down last week, and I take him. I want to taste him right off the bat and see what kind of work he can do. So we go to this nasty smash, and he's like, "Oh no. I'm all, yeah. That's what we're gonna do, Anyways, he makes me feel like he wasn't really comfortable doing it, and all of a sudden, this guy just turned chicken poop into chicken soup. Well, meanwhile, while we were doing this repair, he was doing the repair. I'm filming it, and he's got some interesting techniques. He just does it. Different things, his style. That's the great thing about watching other techs is that he's 8 year PDR tech and looks like a 20-year PDR tech, his work. But one thing, I'll save one of the two, but if you really want to see them, they're going to be on denttrainer.com. An amazing repair, and it's pretty cool how it comes out. It's a nasty smash on a quarter panel. It's stretched metal, crease in the middle of it, body line, and it's got a crown on the bottom, against this 2-layer panel. The skin comes together and the lip comes together. And when you try to tap that down, guess what happens, guys? You guys know it. It either makes little lows all over the place, and it's really kind of a touchy thing. So what he ended up doing is he goes, "Oh, I need a kind of like a flat bar. You have one?" So I said, "Yeah, I got Anaconda, Dent Dow." So he grabs the Anaconda, and then he puts a little rubber tip on the end of it, and he pushes against the tire, and he pushes against it, and you hear this. So you can see that you can hear the metal releasing, that kind of like that kinked part. Yeah, separating, getting more loose, shall I say. So he keeps the pressure on it with the flat bar, and he takes his tapper and his blender tapping, and he's just laying that thing down nice. I mean, otherwise you would have tried to take a regular tap, and you are going to put micro lows all over the place. Now, John, I know you have a quick term for that, but you can see that again on Dent Trainer, how he does it. And then he's got other tips I'm going to say for next week, but you can see it on Dent Trainer sometime this week when I'm done editing.
Yeah, if you guys want to check out the previous videos that we have up there, it's called the off dolly technique. And I want to say that's either an advanced or intermediate. So you can find it there on Dent Trainer.
Yeah, it's really good.
All right, Vince, you're up.
Okay. First and foremost, both these tips are coming from our podcast that we're recording right now. The first one is the GPS trackers. I'm going to share the screen with you for those that are watching this at home, or for those of you are listening. There's a GPS tracker that I use on one of my vehicles. Is a big Sprinter van that has about $40,000 worth of equipment in it. And if you guys know my history, I got my trailer stolen about 2 years ago with about $30,000 worth of equipment in it. So I went out and I got this. It's called the Spot Trace, and it's about the size of a phone. It's really small, and you could connect it to a battery, or it has its own battery, which will run for about 3 months at a time. It's $100 if you go to West Marine, or you could buy them online. It's called Spot Trace. And I have one on my Wave Runner. I have a really expensive Wave Runner, Sea-Doo. And this one gets thrown in there in case it gets stolen. I'm able to track that anywhere in the country. And
Nice.
Same with our Sprinter van. It's hardwired into the Sprinter van. It's hidden up in the headliner where no one would ever see it. And it's really small. Most people won't know what it was if they stole something. And this might work in your tool cart. Kind of like the one that Woody's selling. It's small. You can hide it. It's indiscreet. So it's super cheap, and it's like a monthly subscription, but it's definitely worth it, especially if you've ever gotten anything stolen. Now, my second one comes from John Hiley's comment about gay people. Gay customers. They are one of my best customers out here in Southern California.
Same here. Yeah.
And I got to tell you,
are you rocking the rainbow on your vehicle? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not, but I am on an app called Gayborhood, which I pay for. It's a paid subscription. It's kind of like Google for the gay community, gay and lesbian community. And if you look it up, you'll see Dent's No More on there, which I don't expect most of you are probably straight. But if you are gay, you could go on Gayborhood and find Dent's No More. But anyways, it's The gay community, you got to look at the demographics. Most of them are professionals that make a lot of money.
Yep.
Most of them don't have kids.
No kids.
They have nice cars. They have nice houses. They keep their houses clean and everything, and they want their cars clean. So it's definitely a marketable community if you do have a gay community within your area.
Not to mention you're kind of a regularly handsome man, and you probably get a lot of calls.
Get a lot of tips.
I had a name for that, but I'm not going to mention it.
It's okay. Actually, I have a lot of good gay customers, and they got money. That's all I got to say.
Hey Vince, have you had one hit on you yet?
Yeah, I did a couple times. I had one guy come repeatedly within a week.
Okay, that just sounded really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he visited the shop.
Yeah.
Man, I know the audience has got to be rolling right now.
He came back for more.
Because the way Vince said that, it just sounded so bad.
And Vince didn't disappoint.
That came naturally
awesome.
too.
Hey, you know that Vince, that GPS
Gay for pay, right? Gay for pay.
That GPS tracker that you actually I know a private detective that he'll actually have like a husband or a wife throw that in the other person's car when they think the one's cheating on the other one, and the private detective will follow him. You know what I mean? He's like one of them dudes that'll climb up in a tree with the camera and like, get up in the window and get photos, of you know what I'm saying? Like if somebody thinks your wife's cheating on you, and the dude catches people all the time. Like he'll bust in with a camera, you know what I mean? And
Cheaters.
But that's the very first thing that he does is he has the other one stick that GPS thing somewhere where they hide it in the other one's car so he can follow him around, man.
Yeah.
Well, there's a new GPS tracker, and it's the size of a dog tag. It's really small. And what's cool about it is when you sign up, it's very low powered. It doesn't need a battery, doesn't need a power source. But what it does is everybody else that signs up and has one. So if that thing is in a vehicle, let's say traveling across the United States, and John, he drives by your house and you have that app on your phone, it will ping your app and then ping back to you, letting you know where that tracker is. So it uses social media, or it uses other people's cell phones to pick up where that tracker is. And it's super small. It's literally the size of a dog tag. It's really cool. It's called Trax.
Yeah. It actually pings off of the cell towers too. If it's traveling past cell towers, it will ping it and let you know where it is.
And you can actually get them. You can map the inside of your house. We should get them out as a sponsor. You can map it inside the house, so you can put it on a remote. So most tags will just say, "Yeah, the remote's in the house." This will actually tell you it's in the cushion of the couch.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Hey, Vince, let me ask you a question. With the gay community out there, are you fixing a lot of Subarus?
No, it's usually BMWs and Mercedes. Yeah.
Right. It's the
He's in
higher
LA. He's in LA. They're BMW in LA.
San Diego.
In my area, it's Subarus.
Yeah, because I thought they were going to rename it to Lesbaru.
Yeah. Or a Prius.
Lesbian. Yeah, I mean, a lot of I had a couple ladies in here last week that they were driving a Subaru. So
So I guess it's my turn. Okay, I got a simple tip. So take a plastic cup, one of those red party cups, and take a magnet and hot glue the magnet inside the cup, and then you place it on the car and throw all your dirty, glue pulling junk in there, and it won't fall off the car.
Cool. That's pretty good.
That's what the floor is for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always like
you can put all your tabs in there so they're not on the floor.
I always like to throw them down on people's garage floor, that way their dogs can come out and eat them, stuff like that later,
Yeah.
Paint chips, right?
Yeah.
Well, what do you? We just want to say
back in your glue pot.
Glue pot,
right?
Oh,
Have you, Woody? Have you been able to repurpose a tool pot into a new tool yet?
No.
I did. I use it. I put mine on my cart, And when you plug in your glue gun, you know, it does that first little drip, and it drips into the pot.
Oh, okay.
Mine just drips all the time, so I don't know. I mean,
Woody, I just want to say thanks a lot for coming on here and hanging out
Woody.
with us,
I
clowns.
appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah. We hope to see some new stuff coming out. But are you going to MTE, obviously, and are you going to have any new things out there, though?
He's going to have a booth at MTE.
Yeah.
Any surprises? Any surprises?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to see as much as I can try to get out in that amount of time. I'm going to try to do.
Okay. All right.
I mean, that's one thing that a lot of people don't realize. It takes a lot of time. I mean, you think you got something that's going to work, and then you test it and it's like, man, this didn't work like I thought it was going to, you know? So I've wasted a ton of money just trying to come up with different things, different materials and all kinds of stuff. But, you know,
I'm sorry, homeboy, but I know how you feel.
I'm right there with you, man.
And not only that, but we've had a ton of tool makers on here, Woody, and all of them know that they're not going to be millionaires off of the tools.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. Honestly, I don't even expect to make any money off it. I just, you know, I see some issues that frustrate me, you know, when I'm doing dents, and I figure if I can help other guys out, so that way they're not, you know, make their life easier. Then
Absolutely, it's all good for the industry.
Yeah.
We need people like you.
Well, cool.
Right.
We appreciate you coming on there, Woody, but we're getting close to out of here. But I know, Daniel Grom, you've got your little thing you got to say.
Yeah, guys. Well, find Woody at deadondents.com and level up your tools.